would rock and metal benefit from a new social media platform like Bluesky doing well? Would our broader scene, would the scene do well from that?
It depends upon the uptake. It depends on who's uptaking, what the content is. If it was, I guess, you spend more time in this world than I do, but they each have their own sort of flavor, and they serve up their own sort of content. You know what I mean? So you do get a different feel on X, and you get it than you would on Facebook, and certainly on Instagram. I mean, they're very, very different. TikTok is incredibly different. So, you talk about bands. Bands seem to me, and you please correct me, because I certainly have no position of authority. This is just a casual observer. Bands seem to be spending a lot of time on TikTok. So TikTok and YouTube seems to be, but TikTok in particular seems to be the one where music has kind of found its place and say, this, I could actually do something. And ultimately, I think they're probably having the same conversations. Like, if I do really well on TikTok, I can make some money. I can do something. I can actually grow my band, and it'll be big. Or there is actual potential in this platform. Whereas I don't think, once again, I have to qualify by going, I don't know, but just from the activity on X, they clearly have gone, well, this is a waste of time. Why would we do that? Let's put our time in TikTok, because we may actually get more people who will hear our music. We have an opportunity that we could explode and do really well. I don't know all the nuances of all the different platforms, but
I'd say
I don't. What you would have to then make it music specific. I think music has already decided which one.
I think the difficulty that bands struggle with when it comes to a platform like TikTok, because you say a lot of bands are investing heavily in their time in TikTok, but because it is a video-based platform predominantly, they have added features like photos and stuff more recently. The investment of time into TikTok is quite a lot heavier, because you have to have some sort of skill set for video making. Now, some bands will maybe get away with just doing some selfie videos and letting their personality shine through, but this is a big debate amongst bands right now in terms of, we are musicians, we are artists, we want to create music. We are not content creators. We have no interest in being content creators, and trying to be content creators is killing our soul and ultimately making our music worse. So whilst TikTok, I think, is a great platform for some bands, it isn't for all. And some bands, it would not make sense for them to do, say, dance videos. I'm just imagining now if Alcest popped up doing a dance.
I'd like to see Jethro Tull do that.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work for a band, say, like Alcest or a great many bands on that authenticity level. So I feel like there is a potentially a little gap at the moment, because not every band can invest time into something like TikTok to do either like dancing style videos or reaction style videos, or even just like really, really, really high quality videos. So I kind of hope that Bluesky does succeed, because it does feel, because of what has happened with X, there is potentially a gap in social media for a more conversational based social media, which is what Twitter was, where everyone was talking about the music, and the whole aspect of that social part of Twitter was just simply talking. You did not have to be a content creation expert to succeed on Twitter. Ultimately, it was sort of a lowest common denominator. You could just go on Twitter, put out your thoughts, and that could do really well. And lots of bands and individuals from bands utilize that over the years. So to me, it seems like, yes, there seems to be a bit of a gap. There is certainly a massive chasm in terms of X right now. People are leaving it. Elon will say that usage is very, very high, and he's probably right. The people that are there, the people that have stuck, are using it more than ever.
Are getting what they want.
I suspect, like with X, that usage is at an all-time high, but users potentially at an all-time low.
So which is more important? Usage.
Well, that's a debate that we have had over many years.
Exactly. That's your hours.
Because we have always said, well, we thrive on high engagement, but our overall users or membership rather, was not as high as we want to. So I think the both is equally as important as each other. I would say that we learned that over the years in that, okay, it's great if you have 1,500 people highly engaged, but if you don't grow that pie, if you don't grow that base, then eventually you'll sort of, well, you'll burn through that, and so you ultimately need to grow the base. And so yeah, to me it looks like that's, if I could sum up like where X is at right now, is that those who are there have decided that they're sticking with it, and they're happy with it, and as a result of that, they've probably hardened their resolve to X a little bit and go, I'm going to even use it even more.
I'm going to dig my heels in.
Yeah. I'm going to dig my heels in. I'm
a bunker mentality.
I've decided I'm staying, so I'm staying, and screw you if you think otherwise. I'm staying here. But on the flip side of that, those who have left, are leaving in a great many fashions. So I think
what platform do you use as a human being?
Not much.
Yeah,
I've kind of withdrawn a lot.
Yeah.
As a human being, it's a mix of Facebook and Insta. I use Twitter now just to follow live events like sport.
Yeah, football.
But the football and breaking news, if there's a big news story that I feel like, I probably should be aware of that. But I certainly don't use Twitter in the way that I used to in terms of posting and engaging and stuff like that, because I felt that I was getting pulled into things that I didn't want to be a part of. And ultimately, I'll be honest, a lot of the time it was things that were political in nature.
Yeah.
I've always made a point over the years to try and not be political. And that is just how I prefer to live my life as a human being, but also in terms of, I guess, as a representative of Primordial Radio. So, yeah, I would say actually the collapse of X for me has pushed me to YouTube. I spend a lot of time on YouTube now. I watch more YouTube content than I've ever done. And I actually ended up taking out YouTube Premium because I just couldn't take the ads.
Oh, God, we just had this. We literally had this. Jack and I were having the conversation. We should think about getting Premium because I'm sick and tired of these ads.
There's none of the noise. Just what you want. Just the great content. And I've been so impressed by a great many of content creators over the past 6 months. I've been paying more attention to it. There's so many creators who are doing absolutely phenomenal things on YouTube and reaping the rewards, both, I think, from a satisfaction point of view and financial too. And well done to them. And so, yeah, there's lots of channels that I watch from various different genres, rock, conspiracy, science, nerdy stuff. There's the animation channel. I always forget how you pronounce it. Kurt, I think it is. But that's like got a massive team behind it. But these great fun animations, and they take like really fun subject matters. Go like, what would happen if you take your helmet off in space? And they really go into it, and all these great things. And so yeah, I definitely see like YouTube as a big part of our future.
Primordial Radio.